This is my pleasure to give you some insight on what we did during these 4 years in the frame of the enviroGRIDS project. So I was leading the work package 2 on the SDI. So the aim of the work package is to enable the data sharing among the partners and also outside our community project, I would say. And I hope that I will give you pretty good news on what we did in the frame of this project. So if we try to summarize what enviroGRIDS SDI is all about, it targets obviously the Black Sea region. It aims to build the capacities of people to share data into the GEOS system and to participate to different SDI activities. So just a quick reminder, data is really important because data are the fuel for obviously the scientific analysis for us, but also in terms of decision-making processes. So this is really an important step and a key requirement. I'd just like also to recall that 50% of the time of people while they prepare environmental reports is lost just in terms of searching data. So it's really a waste of time, and we need really to push the data to people so that they can work with the data and make informed decision as best as possible. And also a second reminder is that spatial information, so geographical information in a broader sense, affect more or less between 60 or 80% of all the decision around the world. So it's also a key element in terms of decision-making processes. This important role also is highlighted in the Agenda 21, so it's a UN resolution that has been developed in 1992 during the Earth Summit in Rio. And it was mentioned in the Agenda 21 that a key enabler for sustainable development is to share the data and to exchange information. So really it's an important need, I would say. And if we look at the Black Sea catchment, the Black Sea region, before enviroGRIDS, I would say there was a lot of data repositories inside and also outside the catchment. These data repositories are heterogeneous, disconnected, hidden to user most of the time. And one of the aim of the project was to try as best as possible to interconnect all these data repositories in the catchment. So the question we had at the beginning of the project was how to connect distributed and heterogeneous data sources in the Black Sea catchment. And the answer is in 3 letters. SDI is the solution that we took. It's the Spatial Data Infrastructure. So this is a kind of enabling environment that supports easy access and utilization of geospatial data. It's not only databases, not only data repositories, but it's an environment where you can discover data, search data, visualize the data, obviously, evaluate if the data fits your need, and if yes, then you can access the data and work with it. So at this stage, and thanks to the SDI framework, we can say that data can be a shared resource. So we can really share the data within a community and obviously outside our community and among different communities, scientific communities of users. So really, the aim of an SDI is to interconnect all these data repositories, in this case, inside the Black Sea catchment. And the final aim, I would say, it's really to unlock the power of data and information and services for the benefit of scientists, of decision makers, but obviously also for the general public. So to build an efficient SDI, first we need a vision. So the vision, our vision of the enviroGRIDS project was to support our end users, so the Black Sea Commission and the ICPDR, to facilitate the discovery and access of existing data, create and make obviously available new data sets of the Black Sea catchment, and contribute to GEOS and for the European part also to the INSPIRE directive. So just to recall that GEOS, we are in the building where the Secretariat is hosted, aims really to interconnect all the observing systems around the world and to support 9 societal benefit areas. These are areas where we hope we can have Earth observation can have a societal, and economical impact. So once we have our vision, obviously we need some money, and thanks to the European Commission, we get this money to set up the project, and then we need to develop skills. And the capacity building strategy we developed in the frame of the project was based also on the capacity building strategy of GeoGeos. Is built around 3 pillars. So the institutions, so we connect all the partners of the project together. We build also the capacities of people to share the data, and I will comment later on. And then we build also an infrastructure, so we set up the infrastructure enabling people to share the data and to work efficiently with the data. So we set up these bringing geoservices into practice. This is a workshop, a series of workshops that we made around the Black Sea countries. So the aim of this workshop was to really help people to share the data and to teach how to set up also the technical infrastructure to share the data, and then ultimately to share the data into the GEOS system. So all this teaching material is freely available, obviously, on the enviroGRIDS website, but also on the OGC website and in the Geo Secretariat website as well. So we teach to more than 300 participants around the Black Sea, so in Romania, Georgia, also in Netherlands, in Turkey, and in Bulgaria and Armenia. So once we develop the skills, then we need to set up the infrastructure. And for that, a key element is really the interoperability. So the interoperability is this capacity of 2 or more systems or components to exchange information and to use the information that has been exchanged. And for that, in our domain, the leading organization for standards is the OGC, the Open Geospatial Consortium, that set up more than I don't remember exactly the number of standards, but a lot of standards have been set up by the OGC, and we used different tools to disseminate data, metadata, and also processing services using these OGC standards. And thanks to the OGC standards, we were able to connect the different applications we developed in the frame of the project through the enviroGRIDS portal. So you have the URL of the portal, you can access it. So you have geospatial applications, remote sensing images processing, SWOT modeling on the web, and so on. So really, thanks to the OGC and thanks to the standards and interoperability, we enable really to make all these components available and really to communicate the data between all these components. So all these components are the GeoPortal to manage geospatial data. We have an e-learning platform, we have a decision support tool, we developed an hydrological modeling and interface supported by the GRID technology as well, and remote sensing processing images. We developed also in the frame of the project 2 portals for stakeholders and citizens on flood. So this is for 2 Romanian areas. So once we have the infrastructure, then obviously we need data. This is the last element of the last pillar of an SDI. So the pretty good news is that thanks to enviroGRIDS, we set up 27 services and registered all these services into GEOS. So quite a huge contribution through to GEOS. So you have the full list of services. So these are all the components of the portal plus data services, regional data services. So you see that we contribute a lot, obviously, from Geneva, but now we have a lot of services that have been set up in different countries around the Black Sea. So all these data are available in the portal. So this is just a quick look of the GeoPortal where you can see some of the SWOT outputs. If we have time, I will make a small presentation afterwards, but then we can move. So the pretty good news also is that with these 27 services, we register more than 300 data sets, and this corresponds to 300,000 data layers into the GEOS system. So quite a huge contribution to GEOS. And finally, and this is a key element, we need a good governance, so that we can really work with this SDI. So we build a network of partners around the Black Sea. We have 30 partners now that have been participated to the project, and potentially we are bringing new members to the Geo Secretariat. So Georgia, we will have a discussion later on today, but also Bulgaria and Armenia have started some discussions with the Geo Secretariat. We collaborate also with other FP7 projects, Pegaso, EuroGeos, Geneva. We will continue our efforts in the next years. And really, we are looking to uptake all the enviroGRIDS outputs by the Black Sea Commission and the SCPDR. So I just want to finish with a few key messages, just recalling that without the collaboration and cooperation spirit we set up in the frame of the project, building an efficient SDI wouldn't be possible. So thanks to all the partners. So really, building an SDI is not a question of technology. Technology is really simple, it's cheap. Data might be expensive, but social relations are invaluable. So really, collaboration and cooperation are key elements. So to finish, I would say that without sharing environmental data, doing science can be difficult, taking sound decisions can be problematic, and envisioning a sustainable development can be complicated. So really, publicly funded data are a public good, produced in the public interest, and that should be freely available at the maximum extent possible. So sharing, as a scientist, I would say also that sharing and documenting data is part of the elementary scientific approach. So it will enhance the scientific accountability and credibility. So it's also an important step. We have all these concepts we're building in the enviroGRID. We have to keep them simple and let users experience the benefits of interoperability in their daily business. We have to make our data discoverable, at least. So produce metadata and promote GEOS in your countries, in the region, and promote the use of OGC standards. So I hope that we can keep the momentum created by enviroGRIDS in the region and continue to share, share. And I will finish just with this sentence from Albert Einstein saying that those who have the privilege to know have the duty to act. So thank you for your attention, and thank you to all the partners.